Today's video, we're coming back to LYN, the Light Amazon 4-star monster story free-to-play unit. I have a lot of faith in my community. I'm so proud of them. In the last video, I compared Bulldozer and LYN, but what I didn't really specifically point out was that I was pointing out like the Holy Trinity comp of Konamiya Shannon and seeing if LYN could replace Bulldozer once you get to that point. A lot of people stated like, hey, LYN's probably better on attack speed. And that was the plan for Monday. And today's Monday. So today we're going to compare what's better build for LYN. Is attack speed better or not? If you like all my videos and like my content, hit the sub button, hit the like button, hit that bell dingy dingy thing so you know when I post a video. Let's go, baby. Tip of the day. If you want to see a huge increase in your summoner and monsters, then do not forget to level up your Tower of Ascension and Spire buffs. That is the power of Ascensions. In order to do this, you need 4 different coins, one being Knight Shield, which is from TOA, and the other 3 coins are from Celestial Spires. Every single floor of Celestial Spires has challenges. If you've completed the floor the challenges open up, you have to click on that floor, click the down arrow, and there's 3 different challenges you have to do. Doing these will net you the other coins of Token of Test, Token of Guard, and Rahil medals. If you're trying to make your summoners hit harder, the immemorial power, you can unlock these buffs and it'll give you a power increase. Doing these buffs gives your summoner raw stats, which increases the power level. You can also increase your monster's attack, defense, and HP in the summon power, which gives them more power level as well. Focus on ones that are specific to your account and the monsters you use. I have a lot of HP based monsters, so I'm going to unlock Guard Aura. If you use Teor, for example, it will increase that monster defense in the energy aura. If you're using Kina, go to Alchemy Power and increase the heal aura. Alchemy Power also increases the amount they receive in healing from monsters and your summoner. If you're having problems with TOA 200, go to Celestial Power and go to the Light Power. You can then go on to summoners damage taken from light to decrease, your monsters damage taken from light decrease, or your summoners or monsters damage to light. Or if you're trying to push PvP and you know you run up against certain monsters all the time that give you problems, you can go to specific elements and buff those powers as well. After you've done as much as you can, your summoner's power level increases. Don't miss out on this. The more you know. Okay, so let's talk about LYN. I brought Konamiya and Shannon before to test between her and Bulldozer. But Bulldozer actually benefits from Konamiya and Shannon more than actually LYN. LYN gets nothing from defense in regards to damage. Because of how her skills work, she needs attack, but she also needs attack speed, because her basic attack actually deals more damage to bosses. 30% damage dealt up on her basic attack, plus it does damage based off the target's max HP. So we're going to bring a team that would benefit LYN more, and see how it compares. We're going to build her on a regular nuke build, and we're going to build her on an attack speed build, with the best runes that I currently have for an attack speed nuker. But we're also going to bring Megan, who brings an attack buff and a attack speed buff. Not only that, we're going to bring a crit damage buff too. Alright, so I brought in some monsters just to get the bonus, but now I'm going to switch to the team that I want to use to test out LYN the most. I'm going to use Windy, Megan, and LYN. I'm going to first use the crit damage buff nonstop on auto, and put LYN as a non-soul link. I'm going to test out if Megan would be better to give more attack buff and speed up, and then I'm going to use LYN as a soul link as well. These are the stats that I'm starting with LYN first, just a straight nuke build, low attack speed. I'm going to put it on auto and just use Windy's skill. Alright, so let's do what we can here and hopefully take no damage. And let's just see what LYN can do. I'm going to use the DPS column this time just to compare and see what the DPS is like, because damage numbers doesn't really matter because it just depends on like my Orbia and stuff like that, right? And depending on how much damage she does, and then it gets into Dragon's Roar and blah 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 blah. So We're just going to see what we got. And it was at 18,000 DPS. 18,000 is a DPS for Soul Link Wendy. Now we're going to Soul Link Megan and use only her skill that gives attack up and the attack speed buff. DPS is pushing, which is good. Alright, we're at Dragon's Roar, and really the biggest was like 15,000 DPS, so obviously crit damage does a lot more for LYN in this build. We're also going to test LYN as Soul Link on that crit damage build with lower attack speed and see what we got going on here. Alright, let's start off getting some nice debuffs on the Raka. I'm just going to fast forward just because there's a lot of testing going on. Alright, and with this build though, it looks like LYN is putting out a ton of work as a Soul Link on that crit damage build. I've already gotten up to 18,000 DPS as her as a Soul Link spamming her second skill. So yeah, it's roughly 17 to 18,000. The first attack speed build is on a Swift Blade set. I don't have the best stats for this. 91.7% crit, 128% crit damage, and 191 attack speed, 2866 attack. So on attack speed, crit damage, and attack. Let's test this first on Wendy again and see if we get up to that 18,000 DPS. Alright, come on baby, let's get these debuffs up and let's start blowing this up. Alright, 11, 12,000, 14,000, 15,000, 17,000, 17,000 with the attack speed. You know, roughly it's about the same. It got up to pretty much 17,000, 18,000. Alright, let's try this with Megan this time and see what we get. And let's boost this attack up and speed up and let's get to town. Alright, he's about to go into Dragon's Roar, and so far I've only gotten about 14,000 at the most. So Wendy as Soul Link is definitely a lot better for LYN. I do want to test LYN as a Soul Link too, just to see what kind of numbers we're going to push with Soul Link. I'm going to use her second skill because as we saw from the last video, this is what does more damage overall. Alright, and LYN as a Soul Link doesn't really compare to what she can do as a non-Soul Link because we're not spamming the buffs and they're not high enough, but it really hasn't reached over the 11,000 mark as her as a Soul Link. And there's the Dragon's Roar, yeah, 11,000 as a Soul Link, and this is on the attack speed build with Swift. For this last build I'm going to test on LYN, it's going to be more of a crit damage build but with attack speed. The best I could do currently is increasing her attack speed to 172, 192 crit damage, 3,361 attack. So this gives a balance of the two, between attack speed and crit damage. This does give a little bit more attack too. And Wendy is definitely a little bit better in damage, so let's just see if we can beat the 18,000 mark is what I'm looking for. Using LYN as a non-Soul Link, spamming Wendy, and let's see if we can beat that 18,000 mark. Trying to get that peak highest DPS, and it looks like she's at 18,000 right now. We keep having to move. I can't wait for training grounds. Alright, so it's roughly the same. It honestly just depends on your team comp. Like a lot of people mentioned in my comments in the last video. It wasn't a fair comparison because Bulldozer got a little bit more advantage with Shannon. However, now what we need to do is make a more beneficial team for Bulldozer. Can Bulldozer beat the 18,000? LYN kind of maxed out in all three builds around 18,000 comparing where she was Soul Linked or non-Soul Linked or Wendy spam or whatever. So let's see what we can get with Bulldozer. I'm going to bring Shannon and Wendy to max out Bulldozer's potential, just like I did with LYN. First, I'm going to test out Bulldozer on his Soul Link because that's really where he benefits the most. Although he did well as a non-Soul Link, don't get me wrong. And the DPS meter already hit 21,000 on Bulldozer. He does have the burst, which is crazy. The DPS does get up to 19, 20, 21,000. But overall damage over a long period of time, that would be the question. I can't wait for training grounds so we can be a little bit more precise in our testing. Let's do one more test. And since Wendy gives defense buff too, I'm going to bring in the Konamiya Tion and just reset skills over and over and see if Bulldozer is a little bit better on non-Soul Link with a Konamiya Tion. Alright, here we go. Dodge out of this, wait for the fear, and let's get to work. We're going to keep resetting the skills so they just have that reset skill over and over and just watch the DPS meter on Bulldozer. Definitely a lot better as a non-Soul Link with Tion Konamiya skill resets. But I think we can all see here that LYN is a way better non-soul linked damage dealer than Bulldozer, if they have the proper team composition. And that's it for today's video. I just wanted to showcase different builds on LYN. Because yeah, I think everyone is correct. I didn't give her like a fair beneficial advantage towards Bulldozer in testing. In conclusion, as a soul link, I think they are on par with each other. Really depends on the mechanics of the raid. Both great units and very comparable as a soul link. As a non-soul link damage dealer, I think LYN tops Bulldozer just because of her basic attack. LYN definitely benefits from attack speed, but as you saw with Wind debuff, she would benefit way more from crit damage. But in the way you build LYN, I would definitely build her with a balance of the two. High attack, high crit damage, and with attack speed. That would benefit her build the most. If you like my videos and like my content, sub, like, ding ding a bell. I'll see you in the next one. Peace!